Welcome back, Stassa 23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And before I get started, if you like this video, please drop a thumbs up on it. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. If not, thumbs down also works. And if you like knife content and you're not already, smash the subscribe button with the bell notification so you don't miss any content. All right, today I have for you the Bestech Nogard. This comes in at $298. Only site I can find them on right now is White Mountain Knives. And this is a Kombou design. He is a very prolific knife designer. He's probably one of Bestech's leading designers. He's probably made the most models from him. I did just the last one I did of his, I think was the Falco. If you hadn't seen that, go check it out. And let's get some specs so you can have an idea of how big or how small this knife really is. It's total length of 7.99 inches, so pretty darn close to 8 inches. You have a blade length of 3.5 inches. You have a grip area from here to the back of 3 3/4 inches. You have a handle thickness from here to here of 0.51, so a little bit above average. You have a closed width in the pocket from this point to here of 1.71 inches, so it's going to be a pocket hog for sure. You have a blade stock thickness of 0.15. And the behind the edge thickness is around 17 thousandths at the thinnest portion. And this particular one was sharpened at 21 degrees per side on one side and 29 degrees per side. Degrees on the other side. Before we get any further, let's break off some cutting footage and see how this knife does. All right, we're going to check the initial factory sharpness. Super sharp. Alrighty, it sliced really well. My hand is just getting tired of slipping out of my hands. Nice and sharp. Alright, we're going to test the ergos on this pine 2x4 and to see how well that edge is still biting in. Alrighty, I don't know if you can see that right there. Whenever I was putting a lot of pressure down, this hump right here, you can see just from my fingers landing on that right there was a hot spot. And where else was I feeling that? Also, in between these two lines right here and the tip of this right there. So let's see what it does in the rest. All right, we're gonna cut up some 1/2 inch twisted sisal rope. I'm gonna do as many as I can. All right, did okay. It was a little uncomfortable. I did 20 cuts. Let's see. Still sharp. All right, we're gonna cut up several different types of material. Thick rubber gasket material, thick saddle leather, rolled up denim, 2 different thicknesses of dense tubing, 1 inch and 1/2 inch. 3/8 bungee, and some nylon strap. Wow. All right, this thing did amazing, especially using this front portion. The tip work, detail work, this thing's gonna excel because I could put my finger up here to pull, or I could pinch it like this. That tip was just gliding through material, especially that leather. Still nice and sharp. All right, we're gonna do a few tip tests since this got a nice tip up here. So we're gonna do a little bit of stabbing in this 2x4 in the reverse grip. All right, go penetrating nice and deep. I don't want to hear it in the comments. Still got a good tip. All right, we're gonna just pierce through this milk jug, water jug, whatever it is. See how well I can do detail work with this. Nice. All right, this side did good enough. All right, we're gonna do a few spine wax. Bestech usually does a great job with their lockups. Let's check this one out. All right, I can say that I was hitting it super hard. There's your lockup. Let's see. Perfect. No play up or down, none left or right. Still perfect working order. All right, we're gonna do some edge impact testing on this aluminum bar stock. I'm gonna try to, where is my mark? Try to hit it right here. I'm gonna do it 3 times. Nice wax right there. I found as long as it has a solid heat treat, it usually does just fine. Just aluminum. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Bestech, pretty sure they run their M390 in the 60, 61, I think. Alrighty, I hope y'all enjoyed that footage. Let's take a closer look at this. You have a big old chunk of M390 steel right here. I don't know what you want to call this. Maybe a harpoon sheep's foot, or I don't know. It's definitely, you know, if you know what Kombou's designs look like, it's definitely that futuristic, techno-y look to them. And this one definitely fits the bill. This particular one has a black wash finish, high flat grind on here, Bestech logo here, Kombou's maker's mark here, mark right here, Bowler M390 stamped in right here, almost like a slicer grind on here. This knife is excellent for when you're trying to guide the tip, you know, dragging the tip through stuff. When I was cutting that leather, it was, just filleting that open like it was nobody's business. Very precise point for piercing, and like I'm pretty sure if y'all saw if I put the stabbing, the wood and stuff in the video, it did an excellent job on that. I didn't feel like it was going to snap just by doing regular stabbing. I did feel locked in the reverse grip really good. I'll tell you what, this ramp right here, coupled with the jimping, really locks you into place, and I could get a lot of pressure behind the cuts if I'm doing a downward push into it. Definitely was nice, that ramp. And this is definitely not going to be for everybody. I know, it's a pretty out there design. It kind of reminded me of this Russian made knife I had. It was called the Pelican, I think. Had that same type of blade on it. Like I said, you have nice functional jimping up there if you like that. You got a top swedge right here that really it does a cool little effect with the flat right here. Just kind of that, I don't know, just looks nice. Close it up. You do have a opening hole and a flipper tab. So this is a triple threat. You can flip that bad boy out, comes rocketing out. The action on this thing is stellar. That flipper tab, that thumb hole, oval, you can spidey flick it. You can thumb flick it. You can thumb roll it. And if I had enough room, you can also, you can do the little spidey drop as well. So definitely a highly fidgetable knife if that's your thing. Close it up. You have a decorative pivot. It's a Bestech, their decorative pivot or whatever you want to call it, with a bronze titanium pivot collar around there. You have T8 hardware throughout the entire knife and a nice T8 as well. That's been pretty much countersunk. You have a bronze anodized titanium going all the way around. The scales are contoured. And you have a nice inlay of natural micarta, natural canvas micarta that has a really nice texture to it, and it's going to change colors over time with the oils in your hands. I like that. It kind of takes on a patina. Blade to handle ratio is pretty much 1-to-1. They pack pretty much all the blade you can in there. Your backspacer is about 3/4 of the way titanium, and it almost has that 3D effect, but it's just a chamfer right there. Very nice looking backspacer. And it's completely flush. Flipper tab is, it's one of them minimal flipper tabs. I don't tend to like those that much, but it's fairly comfortable. Maybe after a long time of flipping it, it might start getting uncomfortable. But you do still have enough with that jimping right there to get it flipped out as a light switch. Or if you want to push down on it, you can also push down on it. I find it comes out better with the light switch, just pulling it straight back. Flip it over. You have 3D milled titanium pocket clip that I must say Bestech did an absolutely amazing job with mating all this. There's absolutely no gaps. Look at that. Perfectly flush. Everything. You don't feel any of that seam right there. If you run your finger right here, it just feels like one piece. And another cool thing that I noticed that they did here, I was trying to see whether they did the lock bar cut out on the inside or the outside. So what they did was it seized the opportunity, being that they have this inlay on both sides. So that's nice. I love seeing it, symmetrical on both sides. The lock bar cutout is actually done on both ends, but you don't see it on this end because that inlay covers it up. So excellent job. But as you can see, it's thin on the top and on the bottom. Let's see if I can shed some light on there. You can also see you have right there, you do have some internal milling dots in there. So not only, you can see they go all the way to the micarta. So not only did they do the internal milling, they also have all this titanium. You can see the thickness of the titanium, all that titanium's milled out. So it really lightens up the knife for having such a big chunk of steel. Balance point is absolutely perfect. That's something that Bestech always nails. Speaking of weight, let's get the weight on this bad boy. 112 grams and 3.9 ounces. Perfectly fine with me. Like I said, that's a big old chunk of steel right there. Access to the lock bar is very nice. It does, the lock side sits a little proud of the show side scale. So you got easy access to that lock bar, very comfortable. Your lockup, even after all that spine whacking and all the stupid stuff I've done with it, it's still in the same exact spot. I don't know if you can actually see that with the black. It's about 40%. No side to side whatsoever. No up and down whatsoever. Excellent job there as well. Let's get some size comparisons, and then we'll do my nitpicks and then wrap it up. One that kind of looks similar. This is the Bestech, what is it? Dang it, Nogard. So if you did it butt to butt, you'd see how much bigger. The Nogard is a pretty large knife, as you can see. All right, so more common ones, you got the Hogue regular size RSK, and you have the small RSK. It's very close to the same length as the large RSK, but the large RSK is a little bit longer. I mean, just a little bit. Two more common one. You got the Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3. So it's going to be closer to the PM2. The PM2 is a little bit larger. All right, so overall, I thought it sliced well, especially that detailed tip work did excellent. The heat treat, is on point. I didn't have any chipping, rolling, doing all that impact testing and stuff like that. It did just fine. First thing, this is just something that bugs my OCD, and I said it in the beginning. The edge bevels are pretty off. They're even on one side, the even as far as tip to hilt there, and then this side you have a lot skinnier of a bevel. Look at that, and look how wide the bevel is on this side. That's not hurting anything, not hurting the functionality. Also, I noticed when doing pressure cuts, pushing into the wood, when I was cutting the rope and some of the other stuff I was doing, I noticed that right here, at the tip of this micarta was really eating into my hands when I was doing those pressure cuts, and where it thins out right here on the lock on both sides, it was kind of pinching my hands, as well as the hump right here, just to where my hands fall out. As you can see, my fingers are laying right across that hump, so when I'm putting pressure, it's pushing down. Not something I noticed when doing cardboard or any of the lighter duty tasks, but when I was pushing hard, I really did feel that. And one more last thing is, I love the pocket clip. I love the fact that it's a different looking design. It's not the same as everything else out there, but as much as I like the look of it, there's not much room underneath there. It was fine in my shorts, but if you wear thicker pants, it's going to be harder to get it into your pocket. Let me see about these, and just be ready. This is a pocket hog. It's fairly deep. And these aren't thick pants by any means, but there you go. And now you can see how far it sits off from the pocket because of that broad blade. So you're not going to fit much else in the pocket with this knife. But I usually carry my main knife by itself. So overall, I think it's interesting. The color combos here don't really do it for me, but that's just a personal preference. I kind of like the blade shape, especially after using it. Especially, I do a lot of, dragging the tip along stuff. So definitely see some utility there. Would I buy it? Probably not. It doesn't check enough boxes for me, and just my size hands, those spots, kind of, hurt my hands. But other than that, if you like the design, I think they did a great job as far as the heat treat. It's a good slicer. Action's incredible. The fit and finish is incredible. There's a lot to like. It's not a cheap knife by any means, but you're getting a good knife. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.